Hello friends, Lee here from Tabletop Bong. Thank you for joining me for this video. In this video we're going to take a look at the Vapman thermal extraction device. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but we're going to take a good honest look at this device. Really, who is it suited for? Who will really like it? And who maybe should pass on this particular device. When we buy vaporizers, it's really important to get a device that fits our own personality. So understanding the personality of a vaporizer is exactly what I enjoy doing. So I was lucky enough to receive an email from David from Vapman asking me if I would like him to send me one of their kits so that I could try it out and give you guys a review. And I said I would love to do that. Of course I would love to do that. Who wouldn't, right? But I also stipulated that I would give an honest review. If there's something I don't like about it, I'm going to tell you guys. My channel's unsponsored, so I don't need to bullshit anybody, honestly. So that's what I said, and he agreed fully that, he wants me to give an honest review of the product. So, happily he sent me a kit. So here it is in front of me. I've had it for about a week and a half, so I've had an opportunity to play around with it and to get to know the Vapman personality. So let's dig into it a little bit, and let's, number one, talk about packaging. The packaging from Vapman is super cool. They're really stepping forward with the way they're approaching the packaging and thinking about portability and things like that. This is a small device that you can really take it pretty much anywhere. And the way they have this new case that's made out of walnut here, in just a minute I'll put the Vapman in it and show you how it stores in there. And really it's about the size of a deck of cards. So you can drop it in any pocket and take it with you anywhere. And the torch that drives it all is also not very big. The torch. Let's start, as we're talking about the Vapman, with the torch. I love this torch. I don't even know how many torches. I have them in all sizes, all shapes, single flame, dual flame, triple flame, you name it. I reach now for this Vapman torch, honestly, most often, right down to the tiniest detail. They've looked at what they're doing with this device. The torch, the flame is always consistent. It doesn't jump, it doesn't move around. It is clearly, in some way, shape, or form, a higher quality torch in this little package that I am used to seeing with basically any other product that I've experienced. I'm not saying there's not better torches out there, but I'm saying for what this is, it is a dynamite quality. That was the very first thing I noticed before I even got to taste my first bowl out of this. Just clicking it after I filled it. Of course, you get the torches are empty when you receive them. They're not going to ship them with fluid in it. So as soon as I filled it and I clicked that, I was like, oh, this is a nice torch. So that's number one. The packaging itself, really cool. I was sent the kit in this box, and inside the box was this Vapman carrying case. And I'll just show you a couple of the things that are in this box really quickly. So this gives you, basically everything you need to know about how to use your Vapman. And then you get a cleaning card and a QR code that'll take you to more information about the Vapman. And a little bag to put the torch in when you're on the go, so you're carrying your deck of cards sized little vaporizer case and your cool little torch. Makes for a super portable, easy to take with you unit. And you also get a brush with a sharpened end on it. Nice little touch, little detail. That's the beauty of having these handmade products, you know, like I do with the Tabletop Bong. As you may notice, the Tabletop Bong's not even in this video tonight not because the Vapman isn't compatible with the Bong. Trust me, I'm going to show you videos of vaping some hash with the Vapman using a desktop Bong. I've got a couple of great videos planned with the Vapman in conjunction with the Bong. But today I just want to show you the device and what this experience is like and the way I actually like to use it. And you also get a little screwdriver, which you're gonna need. They sent along for me. I was very happy to see a water pipe adapter. I guess it makes sense. And they also included for me a long glass mouthpiece. So there's definitely some additional items that are available with the Vapman that can allow you to customize, you know, sort of to the way you vape and what's important to you, so that you don't end up having to get an entire kit of things that are unnecessary. You know, you can really focus in on what it is that's important to you. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'll put the Vapman quickly in the case here and show you what this looks like. So this is the inside of the case. So you can see you have your Vapman, and inside the Vapman, it's actually, there's a ring here which is inserted in there for a filling ring to make sure that you don't get weed where it's not supposed to go. This is your midsection, your mouthpiece, and you get a little jar with a cork so that you can take a little stash with you. And when I first looked at it, I thought, that's a little bit small of a jar. I don't know how long that would last me. But after I used it a few times, I thought, oh, you know what? That actually would hold quite a few loads in the Vapman. So it actually, the size of that little glass container makes complete sense. And you also receive this little disc which goes in the Vapman, and of course I'll show you that in another video when we're going to vape some hash together and run it through the Bong. So this all fits really nicely inside, and the lid just clips on with a magnet. Couldn't be easier. This packaging, this is really, really well thought out. I'm super impressed with this, and it totally makes it pocketable. And you're not going to worry about it. I've, you know, bumped this thing around and moved it around and done all kinds of things with it. And this is really secure. It's a great design. I can tell you honestly, when I just want to have that, there we go, get that sort of out of the way a little bit. When I looked at the device itself, one thing stands out to me. It's not a big device, but there are a lot of very small details that are incredibly well thought out on this little device. You can tell that it is originally Swiss engineering. It's handmade in Italy now, but I think it was originally Swiss engineering. It is, you can just feel the quality. And there's an energy that comes with this device when you get it in your hands. It's almost unexplainable, but you can feel there's almost something that you can touch. It feels like it's handmade and that there is an energy in there, you know, that there's some real positivity infused into these devices. It's a really cool thing when you feel that feeling, and that really struck me when I opened this up. So then, let me show you how this thing works. So I'm just going to put a very little bit of weed in here, and I'll show you once it's loaded how little this is. Once you do that, you just remove this ring, and I just set it back in there. but it's a very little bit of weed in there. And then this piece, it just sits on a center pin, and you give it a little twist into place. You heat the bottom of the device right on that center pin in here. They give you very thorough instructions about even, you know, how to set the flame of the torch exactly, how big of a flame you want, which really, it's helpful to understand those small details when you're starting out with a new vaporizer. You have to understand, especially when they're manual ones like this. So the instructions are extremely clear, so I've gone ahead and I've set the torch to that. And I'm just gonna heat the bottom of the Vapman, and then I'm gonna take the heat away for a minute. And you end up finding your own rhythm with doing this. There's really no right or wrong way as long as you don't overheat it. Then you can just sip away on it. And then I like to nice light vapor on the first couple of puffs as you're heating it up. I like to heat it up slow so that it soaks in a little more heat. You get a little feeling of nice, rich, thick vapor. Even from this little device, you can get nice, thick vapor. And then you can just go ahead and cool it down by drawing on it and heat it back up. Heating it up is so simple once you've done it a few times. If you don't know when to stop, if you see vapor coming out the end, it's time to stop. It's pretty easy. And you'll be getting nice thick vapor like this. Now I want you to just notice that I'm sort of hitting this like you would a normal vaporizer, even though this is a tiny little microdoser. And I'm still puffing away on it quite nicely. It's a very interesting experience to use this device. You can feel the quality, you can feel the energy. And the heating of it, it's the way it's done, just and hitting a certain spot and holding it and letting it off and holding it. It actually becomes fun. It becomes so much about that part of the experience as well as the vaporization part of the experience. It really integrates into a whole ritual, and I think I remember seeing some of the guys on the Vapman website or in different videos mentioning, you know, there's a bit of a ritual to it, and it's absolutely true. I didn't take my brush out. So let me pull that out, and very easily you just brush it out. Here in this corner, you can see that's completely vaporized. It's, you know, but it is literally crumbs that you're putting in there, and the effect that comes off of that, you can really play around with the effect. You can heat it a little bit less and get a bit thinner vapor, and, you know, just have it sort of feel a little more energetic. Or you can push into some clouds with it too and get some higher heat vaporization for that more stony effect on very small amounts of weed. So in that sense, this thing is really, really impressive. The other thing I wanted to mention that I've done with mine, around the body of it here, there are 3 holes, which you can't see in mine right now. When I looked at a couple of different videos about this vaporizer and read a couple of reviews, I heard one thing that jumped out at me, which was the fact that there were the 3 air holes that are positioned around it, which it becomes awkward to try and cover them all if you want to get, you know, thicker clouds. So that made me think about, okay, well, that's not that big of a deal. So I just took a tiny little piece of tape and put it over each one of the 3 holes. So now I can pull thick, dense vapor out of it by heating it up a little bit more if I want to without introducing too much air, or I can connect it to my bong without introducing too much air. I'm personally somebody who likes to chase after the thicker vapor. So I wanted to tune this in more to my own personal style of vaping. So reducing the airflow for me, even though they sent me this really cool mouthpiece that allows you to close, by turning it you can open or close the airflow. But what I did notice when I closed the airflow completely utilizing the mouthpiece was that it still allowed a little bit of air through. So I wanted to completely choke that off, because I mean, I think like many people, it's really nice to have that airflow closed right off to get the thickest vapor. That's the way I roll. So that was the world's easiest adjustment to this vaporizer to get it to work exactly like I want it to work, which is, you know, with a little, I want all the air to go through the bowl. I want all of it to go through and give me the maximum amount of vapor I can get out of each draw. So that was the tiny little adjustment that I've made to this vaporizer to get to a place where I could tune it in to where I wanted it. Like I said, they also they gave me this longer glass mouthpiece. And when I'm using this, this is exactly what I use, honestly. I love this long glass mouthpiece. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to load it up again real quick. And I'm going to take the little filling aid so that I don't make a mess with my little bits of weed going in here. And I'm just going to pop that back out. And again, this just drops right on a center pin, and it's an easy rotation to lock it in. You can see how those pins lock in. Really, it's a super cool design. It's really quite fascinating and fun to use. The other thing I'll say, what I've come to realize, the easiest way to do this is you get to a place where you learn where you want to hold your hands, and you just kind of instantly start going to the same place. So you just get there, whatever it is, you see your flame, and then you're like, okay, so there. And then you're not really moving your hands at all. So you can almost not look at it and know that you're hitting the exact right spot, as you can see there. It's very easy to do. Very, very flavorful. So this is a hybrid vaporizer. So you're getting elements of conduction and convection. which provides for some really interesting and delicious flavor. It's really beautiful. Y'all know I'm always ripping through water. I mean, I'm the inventor of the tabletop bong. I'm always running through water. But when it comes to this Vapman, probably half of the time that I use it, and I'm picking it up honestly quite often, and I'll tell you exactly why I am more often. Where I think this little vape shines, how many times have you thought to yourself, oh, I have this thing that I need to do, so I need to be able to focus. I really wish I could smoke a bowl right now, or vape a bowl right now, or smoke a joint right now, or whatever it is. But you think, it'll just make me a little bit too blasted. If I could have like a third of one, I would, but I know I'll have it all. That's what I do anyway. This Vapman, you can load it up because it's a microdoser. You can have a bowl. It absolutely, you'll feel the effects from it, but you can ramp it up very slowly or a little bit more quickly depending on how you use it, but it's a very controllable doser. And it's super efficient in its extraction. So you couple those things together and it gives you a very controlled experience. So if you feel a little bit anxious, for instance, and you just want to knock the edge off, but you don't want to alter yourself too much, sitting down, taking 5 minutes and embracing the ritual of using the Vapman, blocking everything else out around you for that 5 minutes, and loading this thing up once or twice, it can be a really good alternative or a really positive way to pop yourself out of the feelings of anxiety should you be having some, or help you just slow down if you need it. I really like that about this device. I'm going to get to know it even more in the near future, and I'm going to do some more videos with this because it's a device I think that once it becomes really understood, it's a pretty versatile device, and it's so portable with the new packaging, and the container system is really cool that it comes with, because of course it becomes a stash box, right? Like, it's like a 2-in-1. That's kind of cool. They've really thought about everything, so they know that, you know, sustainability is a big deal to them as it is to me. Using these natural materials, they still need to be replenished. So I have to tip my hat to Vapman for the fact that they plant a tree for every completed order they have, which is, it's a beautiful thing if you think about it. A lot of companies talk about it, but they're taking action, and it's something that is a future goal for me. So thank you, Vapman, for the inspiration on that, and actually, you know, putting your money where your mouth is and making a difference. And you can see, when you see the size of the vaporizer, it's no bigger than it needs to be, but it's absolutely every bit as big as it should be. The thing is in balance with itself in very cool ways. It's fascinating to sit and play with this thing and have a bowl or two and just look at it and stare at it and feel it. The texture of it is fabulous as well. I've really enjoyed so far getting to know the Vapman, and I'm looking forward to bringing you a video with some hash and some concentrates with the Vapman. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about this product and its personality so that you know if it's right for you. Until next time, take care.